foreign food aid to Africa, especially Gambia. I hate it. I really don't like that because I believe that that foreign aid is not the answer for African issues. So I think we as Africans, we have to stand up for ourselves. We do it because since our head of state, the president, has already been mentioning it all every now and then, that people should go back to the land. Why should people go back to the land? Is because he knows that that's where our benefit lies, for us to be who we are, to be self-reliant, rather than to be dependent. So the theory, the dependency theory, is what we are trying to break here, because we don't want that. We want to be more on our own, to be able to do things for ourselves. When you have your family, it's you, the family head, who have to try to produce something for your family, not to depend on somebody to give you foreign aid to maintain your family. I believe that's a very wrong concept, and so as a result of that, I decided that this is what I should really do, since the government has given the go for people to go back to the land and do whatever you can do. If you approach them for help, obviously I believe the government will help you out. So it is now your turn to really go back to the land, as the president has already suggested for people to go back to the land. And then if you are short with whatever, I believe, if you turn back, if you face them again, there's always help for you. So that's why I thought, it's the best thing to do for the community.
It is one of the indigenous settlements in this region. The people here are pinning their hope on this vegetable garden. Kalilu Koli is hoping for the best.
It's a very good move because, as you are seeing, well, the nursery is highly protected from animals and even from insects that affects nursery beds.
So what would you tell the people of your community?
For the people of the community, I want them to come and we work together so that we can make it a success, because it's a very good initiative, and if we work together, obviously we will make a big difference in our vegetable production.
Okay, thank you.
It is not the idea, perhaps. Lamin Jaju also needs the support of the people and partners who are working in such ventures.
I have the support of my community, which is Penyem, by the support of the Alikalo here, Mr. Kalilu. So we are here, we can do it. That was why I had requested, for connection or to collaborate with other organizations across Gambia, but it seems to be like that was always a failed point for me. So I don't want it to feel like it's a dead end. We can always do it. So that's why, with the support of the community in Penyem, plus the Alikalo here, so we are here.
Lamin Jaju said it is just going to take some time before his final journey back home and work in the very community he called home.
Well, he died sometime last month, but his legacy has a lasting impression for a number of writers around the continent. Chinua Achebe has written a number of books. His work is so popular that, to an extent, that almost every child who reads literature in Africa knows about Things Fall Apart. But this man, a number of people still think there are a lot of things that can be said about him. As we continue our tribute, let's find out from the number of writers who has different takes on what Achebe was as a writer.
When it comes to writing, Chinua Achebe is considered to be one of the finest writers Africa ever had. The life story of this great writer who died last month is almost available to every literature student on the continent. Some have never met him, but does it really matter? Sometimes in literature, or in any work of art for that matter, the text is what is important, sometimes not the author. During the course of the week, we tracked veteran teacher cum writer Michael Hamadi Seka. Here is his reflections on Achebe, the writer, the Pan-Africanist.
He did not only dictate legacies to us, but he had also inspired us. Because if you look at Achebe's works, Ibrahima, and you compare him with others, you will see him reflected in Cecil Spring Rice, the poet, when she said, "So be a creator of mine, whose skillful hands and thoughts divine did mold me into a frame without a blame, and gave me this fleeting frame. In this span of strife and hatred, buttressed by irony and fate, grant me to live to love mankind and all thoughtful prejudice rescind. May I learn to serve the poor, may I live to serve the rich and the meek, so that when death wins, I shall not miss the eternal pathway to bliss." So when Achebe died, he died as a happy man. He has accomplished his academic sojourn. He has done what is expected of him. He has prepared the ground for African literature and widened the eyes of Africans. So Achebe has bequeathed a lot to us, Ibrahim.
Unlike Sabali, who is not a literature student, his take on Achebe is also thought-provoking.
When Things Fall Apart was published, as you rightly know, the horizon was very dark for African authors. It took him years for that book to see the day of light, to be published. But with that courage and with that spirit to dare to be different, to come up with a new style of writing, with a new approach to literature, that was novel. With that courage, he made his mark. You know, he cleared the way for us. You know, there's this Wolof guy who once told me that he said, "So gisee ñay di hala yon pour doomam yi la." If an elephant is clearing the way, it's for its children. Achebe has taken the lead in a thick forest and cleared the way. The way is not supposed to be left there to be occupied again by bushes and trees. The way is for us to tread. The road is clear. We have to follow through his footsteps to carry on that story that his life, as I said before, is. Achebe's life is a story. He has taught us the story, but we must live the story and we must carry the story on to generations yet unborn.
Renowned Gambian writer and economist Tijan Salah considered himself a student of Achebe long time ago. From the onset, Salah coined a poem dedicated to Achebe.
When we are confronted by pressures of place, we seek solace in those tiny kingdoms of the heart, which keep the memory of place. The roots hold tethered to the silos of the heart. Our minds hold firmly to the gravity of place. Come pray with me. Come pray. May we have roots? May we have. For stems must have roots. Dreams must seek tenacity in looms of savage earth. For skies without pillars crumble like ancient roofs. Skies without pillars crash to the dust of earth. So we must dig deep, no matter for cyclones disturbing our place bearing. We must preserve memory as the choral player in his choral.
This writer is undoubtedly seen to be one of the best or the hottest on the continent. Wingu Wainana just listened to his interview with Al Jazeera's Foliba.
How do you feel about being called the African writer, the new African writer, being likened to Chinua